Hello again, I'm Pastor Phil from Lakeland Church in Carbondale, and this is Wilderness Wanderings in the Word. Today's September 14th. Our scripture reading is Daniel chapter 1 through chapter 3. I've entitled this devotion, A Diet for Gaining Wisdom and Understanding. Our focus scripture is Daniel 1, 8 through 17. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself in this way. Now God caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel, but the official told Daniel, I'm afraid of my lord the king, who's assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you. Daniel then said to the guard, whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see. So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables and said, to these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning. And Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. Daniel and his 3 friends had been taken away from their families back in Egypt some time ago, and they never knew if they'd ever see their parents and family again. They had their names changed to represent Babylonian gods, and now they were being commanded to eat the food that no good Jew would eat. How did these 4 young Jewish men handle this temptation? The scripture says sometime before they resolved that they would never defile themselves with the king's food. Daniel went to the guard in charge of their diet and asked permission to eat only vegetables and drink only water. The guard was quite fearful of the king. If these 4 underneath his charge did not improve in wisdom and understanding, it would cost him his life. Daniel presented an alternative. Test us for 10 days and see if we're not wiser than all the rest. The young men were put to the test. Water and vegetables it was. 10 days later, God answered the prayer and said they were 10 times wiser and more knowledgeable than all the rest by a very great amount. It's interesting how many times food is mentioned in Scripture. Food has a lot to do with our relationship to God. Matter of fact, almost every time we come to the church, we're always taking some kind of food. And once in a regular occurrence, we celebrate the Lord's Supper, though that's not really a meal. It's a small cracker and 2 ounces of juice. If you take note how many times the Bible mentions food and drink, you'll be amazed. You know, it's not like the other religions. The other religions, you offer your gods food and drink. Here, God offers us food and drink that we might meet with him. And who do you sit down to the table to have a meal with? Is it your enemies or is it your friends? God has ways to use food to bring you close to him. God, help me to look to you for my life and my energy, not the food that I crave. May my food and drink be to do your will.